I know, yeah.
Yay!
Fairly new concepts there, you know.
Yeah.
We'll put them together. We're going to go, when are we going to do this?
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
We can work on it too. Yeah. But our lives have just been sort of engrossed with echoes for the vast sort of year, I suppose, and so it's great to be able to do this and play these songs and tell you the stories of them, and then but we're always thinking about what's next, and because we're loving what's going on at the minute, so it's all good.
How long did it take you guys from start to finish writing and recording Echoes?
How long did it take us?
How long did it take us to record the album, write it? I suppose it was kind of over a year, wasn't it?
I think it was. It was
Still, like, while we were on tour as well, you know, we were kind of coming back and forward. But we made a good start about when we got together and we rented out this little house in Cavan, and County Cavan, and
that was last January, I think.
That's right.
January 15. Yeah.
Was it? Yeah.
January 15.
And we locked ourselves in this little cabin. There's no Wi-Fi, no phones, no computers, no nothing. All we had was a blank canvas, and just say, okay, let's see what's going to come out here the other side, you know. So that's what we did over 3 or 4 days, and we got a load of kind of little demos done and things like that, you know. And some of them stuck, and some of them became songs on the album. But that was the start of it. From then.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
It was because we didn't know, like, that's the thing when you do this. We Neil and us have a talk because we'd obviously been touring this Burning Kelly for a few years, and we said we always wanted to record our own album and write our own songs, but we didn't know if it was going to work or not. So we said, okay, look, let's just do it. Let's book this house and try and see what happens. And thankfully, Echoes happened from that, so we're happy that it did. So.
Are you two ever going to do a private concert at someone's like you and Leslie did?
Yeah.
Well, I suppose, as we said, you know, we're just like at the moment, the whole year is kind of booked out at the moment. Yeah, it's like just massively busy, you know. So we'll see what happens in the.
The one thing about the shows we've been doing since the very beginning is that the Burning Kelly shows have always been, we try to do that intimate thing, whether it's in somebody's living room or in a place like this, which is, you know, it's virtually someone's living room anyway. It feels that way because everyone's sitting together and just, you know, and that's always been the way. So, when it's in a house or in just a small theatre or something like that, that's always the vibe we wanted to get off with these.
Did you ever give any more thought to doing a Christmas CD with your dad? I asked you last year.
I know you did, yeah. He's too hard to pay, that's his problem.
Very expensive.
My father's a diva. No, he's not. He's not at all. But yeah, you never know. Again, it's finding time to do all these things is tough, you know.
Yeah, you're young yet.
Well, I don't know. It's all relative, I suppose.
Themed album, and that's why, you know, it's called Echoes. It's all about our past. It's about things in the past in Ireland, historical things, characters from the past, our childhood, growing up, you know. So yeah, but all the ideas were kind of within a bracket, but could come from either one of us.
Yeah, I mean, it's just funny when we think about the 10 songs on the album, well, the 9 songs that we wrote ourselves. Everything, the whole template is very different for each one, and it was, some of them were, you know, as Neil says, we got a melody, we got a version of chorus next to it. We thought that sounds like a song that could be about X. Another thing, we go, you know what? Let's write a song about Belfast, and that's where, you know, and we started to think about that. So it's not that there isn't a sort of we certainly don't work to a template anyway. It's just been that, and I think it sort of made it more interesting that we had 2 or 3 songs going at one time, maybe, you know, all the way through it, and you would leave one song for a while, you'd concentrate on another one, and then you come back and go, oh yeah, do you remember? And you'd do it again, and it's just, it was interesting just to keep all these plates spinning at one time, and when it gets to the very end, and you look back and you go, God, there they are, that we've delivered these 10. It's a nice, feels like a good accomplishment at the end of the day.
Also, the two of us come from very different musical backgrounds and have very different styles growing up, but we like the same things, and you know, when you get to different styles merging as well, it can create something quite unique, and that's, I think, really what we were after as well, you know.
I have it on one of the songs where you sing on Meaning of the Waters. What are you saying?
Ah, yes. Yes, this is a question that we've been asked a lot on Twitter and stuff as well since the album came out. Is the song "Meeting of the Waters"? There's a line that I sing in reprieve to what Neil is singing, and it's "Coming on Ga Ishka," and it's Irish Gaelic for it literally means meeting of the waters.
Sure.
So when Neil is singing "Meeting of the Waters," which is this, we'll explain the place, and you'll see an actual picture of this beautiful place in County Wicklow during the show. But what I'm singing is "Coming on Ga Ishka." It's funny. We will tell the story about when we were writing the song, and we thought, it'd be really nice just in this song to actually have some sort of refrain in Gaelic, in Irish Gaelic. And so we sort of thought about that, and we looked it up and saw that this, because neither of us are fluent in Irish by any long shot, but we know a few words here and there, but we wanted to make sure that we were right before we put this on the and recorded this in the album. So we were down in Neil's house actually at the time writing this, and he said, "You know what we'll do, I think the best thing to do is we'll call the Meeting of the Waters, like to the tourist board down where this Meeting of the Waters happens, we'll ring them, they will know, and we'll get the okay from them that this is definitely the right thing we're doing." So we gave them a call, and I found this, that of course there's an amazing website called Google, and I found the phone number for the tourist board down there, rang and explained, so I says, "Look, just hear me out here a second." And myself and another fella here, Neil Byrne, we're writing a song, and we just want to know if what we're saying in Gaelic is the right translation. And the guy says, "Yeah, I think that's right." He says, "Like my wife is fluent in Irish, but she's away for the day. When she comes home, I'll ask her, and I'll get back to you." Yeah. So we thought, that's good. Okay, let's do it. We'll just go ahead. Thanks so much. Blah blah blah. We left it. So days passed, and he didn't get back to us. We thought this guy is part of this tourist board. I'm not sure why he hasn't done it. We then found out. We sort of did a bit more digging about this, who this guy was. It turns out I rang a bed and breakfast down in Wicklow that was called the Meeting of the Waters.
We were talking to this guy for about a half an hour.
Yeah. This poor man had probably just finished making his beds, and he's going, "Who is these weirdos on the phone to me asking these things?"
And in fairness to him, he's a nice man because he put up with us.
He did, yeah. I think he thought we were going to book a room or something.
So you got these two lads just ringing up saying, "Listen, we're writing this album, we're writing a song, you know, got to explain to us, you know."
So he's like, but we did then eventually find out that we were right in what we'd said. So to cut a long story short, it's the Irish for Meeting of the Waters. There you go. Coming and Ga Ishka. Yeah.
Hey guys.
Hi.
How are you?
Great, y'all love you.
Good. Thank you very much.
I have a question on how to put lyrics to music. Do you know how to do that?
We're still learning. We've tried.
We're still learning.
Oh, that's great.
Right.
And I'm wanting to learn how to put lyrics to music. Nice.
If you're writing the music first, it's kind of just, you know, just close your eyes and listen to the music and how it feels to you, you know, basically. What you know, is it happy, is it sad, is it deep, you know, is it, you know, there's a lot of emotions attached to even a chord sequence or something, or a melody. There's always an emotion attached to it, and it's trying to hear what that emotion is, and it's usually the first one that you feel is the right one. Yeah. So, you know, you can start there maybe.
We'd also like, I mean, we find that when you're writing lyrics, it's Be true.
I was just going to say, it's good to ring a bed and breakfast. Just ring your local bed and breakfast.
Good to ring a bell.
Torture the local tourism industry. And I'll get you. But no, it's one thing that we've always thought that one thing is that it's good to be true to yourself about the lyrics and believe in what you're writing about. I know, because I guess it's easy sometimes to just to sort of write love songs about stuff, and but if you don't feel it, or there's nothing that you can relate. I don't know. That's the way we've always thought with writing songs. You got to relate to what you're writing to, even if it is somewhere like even that Meetings of the Waters we're talking about. It's a place, but you got to find out about the place. You got to immerse yourself in it. You got to stand there, and when you're writing a song, be in that spot and write about what you see around you. And
buy an English-Irish dictionary.
Exactly.
I was wondering, of the original songs, because I think somebody asked this on the Twitter Q&A, what was the easiest and most challenging for you to write, either lyrically or musically?
It's a hard question. Like, sometimes a song can really flow, and you might get an idea, and the music, you could have the guts of it written, sometimes in a just a bit of a flow in a couple of minutes, it just has a natural progression that you're hearing as you're going, type of thing, Other times it can be different, because maybe you're writing about a subject, that you want to express a lot of different colours in, different emotions in, like of Belfast, there's a lot of depth to it. You want to, there's mixed emotions within it, so a lot of the time you won't usually do something like that quite quickly, but a lot of the time, the quicker that you actually do naturally put something out, the catchier the song is, because it comes to you very naturally and quickly, so it's something you've caught on to really quick, so usually others catch on to that too.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I'd say, I think about it, I think Belfast probably had the most rewrites out of all the songs for us, just because we thought we were there, and then no, right, let's change this a wee bit, and that's the way it does develop, and it's not, it is great because it has to feel right, there's no point settling for something, and that's what we didn't want to do with this. If we had to just settle for a song, we just wouldn't put it in, and this would have been an EP. If that had been the case, it would have been 6 songs or 5 songs, because we wanted every song to justify its right for being on the album, and that's what we did.
Yeah. Go ahead. I just want to know if Larry has a middle name.
It's Bird.
If Larry has a middle name, Larry's like, Larry, well, he's named after Larry Bird.
So he's Larry Bird
So
Kelly.
I guess because he's a Boston Terrier, and my favourite Boston Celtic player of all time was Larry Bird, so I call him. So I guess he's Larry Bird Kelly.
Yeah.
When you're talking about ideas for songs, I mean, does one of you have an idea and the other one just look at him and go, that's complete rubbish? No.
No,
That song about snooker that you wanted.
No, do you know what? Like, sometimes you might have an idea, and if you're writing, if you're in the writing process with it, and we're battling with it maybe a bit too much, we just shelve it, and we say, right, we're taking too much time on this. It doesn't. If it's gonna hurt this much, it's no point in doing it. You don't want to have to struggle with a musical piece. It's gonna have to flow,
You start to resent it then. You
do.
don't want to start resenting your own songs.
That's it. Yeah.
Have you written any after many pints of... how
Did we
many
wait?
pints do you have to have before... Have there been any songs written after multiple pints?
Oh, you mean
like 7
drunk
nights or
at
something.
night.
after a few Jameson?
Yeah.
The thing is, we probably have had brilliant ideas, but we've forgotten. That's the So
Yeah.
some of the songs are probably they're going to be classics. And
Well, you have
Oh,
something
we-
to write them in now,
Yeah.
so.
We do, yeah. We come up with great inspiration after a few jumps in our lives at the time.
Yeah.
Okay, gentlemen in the back here, yep.
I have a question about kind of the songwriting process. So it kind of has two parts. One is, have you written anything that didn't fit on your album? Like maybe it was of a style that didn't really go in? And was it more like one of your personal favorite bands? And thereby, what are some of your personal favorite bands to listen to?
Well, I think there was, I suppose out of the album, there's 10 tracks on the album, we wrote 9 of them songs. There was probably maybe 16 or 17 ideas in the whole thing, maybe a few more, the first thing that comes to mind is that a couple of them that don't stick and don't make it to it was because we felt they were a bit too, as we would say, a bit too musical, like in the sense that, we didn't want to make it, too deep, we wanted these songs to be very listenable to anybody, very, kind of radio friendly. We went for a kind of a cinematic sound, but we didn't want any songs to be really deep and because you can get quite carried away with that type of thing instrumentally, and so a couple of the songs didn't make it for that reason.
Yeah, I think that's right. That's the thing about it is like I think early on when we probably had written the first, or we probably had 3 or 4 songs at the start going at once, and we seen the direction we were going in, and then I think the other songs sort of fed off that. So we from pretty early on we had a good idea of what the theme was running through the album and what it was going to be. So that we knew basically what we were, there wasn't too many curveballs thrown after that, because we knew sort of, within reason what we wanted to write about and what sort of sound we wanted. So we were lucky that way, I think. I think we're lucky too because we have, as Neil says, we come from different backgrounds musically, but we generally have a pretty common understanding of what we think is good music, or music that we would like to represent us, and that's what we wanted to have in this album. We want this album to represent us, I think.
That's a good way of putting it, actually,
So,
yeah.
so nothing left to sell to Taylor Swift.
If Taylor wants to come and talk to us,
Yeah, if Taylor would like to take a song, that'd be great, because she'd make us a fortune. Make us a lot of Swift money. I can tell.
Oh, talk about puns.
But when you're all traveling together and you stay together all the time and you work together, ride together, do you ever just have times you just get sick of each other? You and
Yeah. This lady was just saying, because we spend so much time over the years, we're constantly together as musicians, and working together. Even when we go home, we've been writing an album, recording an album, we're out on the road, we're constantly with each other, do we not really, it's not really getting on our wicks, as they say, I think it becomes a whole learning curve from the start when we first started going out on tour together, and you just, now it's just a complete way of life. It's the way we live, it's the way we do it, I mean, don't get me wrong, we all have our ways of, heading off. Ryan loves to go on a run, I'll do the same, I go to the gym or whatever, we all do our own little things like that to just, you have to have some sort of an escape from it at times, but we couldn't do it unless we loved it, and we do really love doing what we do.
That's right. I mean, that's right. You have to give each other space, and I think that's the thing, and take your own space when you get it yourself. And there's nothing. We know that ourselves. There's nothing wrong if we decide, do you know what? I'm not going to go for dinner tonight. I'm going to go off and walk, and or someone else does that. You go. That's perfectly fine, because we appreciate that's. Everybody needs a bit of their space every now and again, and it's working that well, and thankfully it's worked so far anyway.
My husband takes a ride. I just couldn't imagine that any of y'all was taking off and taking a ride.
We do what we have to do, basically.
Absolutely.
All right, guys, that is the end of the
We promise there's going to be music after this.
Thanks for the